Let's take a look at Zscaler's data protection capabilities. So we'll start off with a web overview of applications. So we can come to dashboard and we can look at cloud applications and give us a view of which applications are being used by an organization. Go back up to 7 days and we can see in my organization I've got a number of applications, iCloud, Gmail, Zoom, all the way down, and through this we can see things like the risk scoring, and if we come across we can see the total risk scoring. We can drill down and look at the data that Microsoft App Security provides us in terms of the capabilities of these applications, what BitGlass shares with us, and what the Zscaler service provides details on in terms of whether or not the service provides IP restriction capabilities, whether they've had a data breach, information about the organization, multi-factor authentication support. And we can go through and we can drill down on these applications. We can go to analytics and we can look at the SaaS security report to get a different view of this. And we can go back further now and we can look at the last 90 days. Give us more information. We're seeing about 240 applications being used by my organization, again through a number of different applications, and we can drill down on this. We can look at Okta. We can see the amount of data transferred to Okta, a number of users using this cloud application, and whether this is a sanctioned or an unsanctioned application as far as our configuration is concerned. We can edit this and we can make this a sanctioned application and use that application sanction in policy. Again, we get the information about the application and the risk indexes, and we see information about the security of this as an application and make decisions based on this security. And then we can drill down and we can see which of the users has been using the application. So again, a different pivot in terms of the data available to us for these cloud applications. We can then also see similar applications in that kind of application categorization. So Intune, logon services from Microsoft, OpSWAT giving me visibility and control of that as well as seeing things like Citrix and PingOne services being used by the organization. So giving us an idea of shadow IT within an organization. We're going to start with administration. Under administration, we define concepts and categories that we're going to use elsewhere in our policy. We'll start off with our DLP dictionary. So a dictionary is a definition of a match that we can use in our data protection policy. So for example, credit cards will produce a LUN check and will detect credit cards based on not just a pattern match of 16 digits and a expiration date and a CVC code, but we'll do a LUN check to make sure that that credit card number is properly formatted. There's a number of different national insurance or identifier information across about 40 different countries and different patterns that are predefined within this. So if we have a look, for example, at credit card information, we can go in and edit these. And what is our confidence score for this? So a low confidence score on a credit card number is 16 digits and passing that LUN check. We go to medium, it's going to pass that LUN check and it's going to be properly formatted. And then a high confidence means that we're also looking for other phrases within the posted data. So not only did it pass the LUN check, but within a proximity being a number of bytes close to the credit card number. Bytes also being double byte characters in, for example, Chinese or Japanese, where they're using double byte characters, where we're looking for the terms, certain phrases, American Express, Amex, MasterCard, to further define the fact that this is a credit card. We'll also look for other phrases, for example, CVC codes or CVV codes or whatever, to give more detail that this is actually a credit card match. We have a number of different predefined dictionaries, things that we can match. We could also go ahead and add a dictionary. So this is my custom dictionary. And we're going to say we want to match any of these patterns or phrases. Let's write a pattern. For example, we could say a space followed by a couple of letters, A to Z, and we want to do A to Z to make it case insensitive, and between 1 and 9 instances of a letter followed by a word, for example. And we then have the choice of, are we looking for a unique count, so the number of unique patterns that were in the payload, or do we want to count all of the instances within the payload for our hit count? And then we can also have phrases. Again, a phrase is case insensitive, so I could write, for example, Penarth, my town, have a fuzzy match, and a pattern is case sensitive, so you deal with the case insensitivity by writing your regular expression appropriately. So we can click save on that. We now have a new DLP dictionary. A DLP engine is the mechanism of enforcing those dictionaries or building those dictionaries together. So for example, here I've got the credit card number. I'm looking for more than 0, so 1 or more instances of a credit card match. So matching those unique counts or those scores. If that triggers within this engine, that engine is said to be true, and then I'll apply the engine within policy. So for example, I'll go ahead and add my custom pattern match, and we'll select the dictionary, custom dictionary, and so it's looking for the number of instances of that match, and I'll again say 0 or 1 instances of that, meaning 1 or more instances, and we'll click save on that. So we have a number of different dictionaries available to us.